Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Hard Claim.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Hard Claim with not Viva La Sam this week. You're getting me, Nina. I work with Sam behind the scenes and do the video editing and the graphics for Hard Claim, and so I'm really excited about this week's guest because it's my daughter, Samantha. Samantha, say hi.
Hi.
So, Samantha, we have Trouble Brewing loaded here for you. You have drawn the imp token. What do you think that, if this was your first conversation, day one, what do you think you would share?
So, I'd probably just go with the Undertaker, just, like, if that were one of my bluffs. Because I feel like I tend to, like, talk to a lot of people and just like going back and forth all the time. I'm gonna have like kind of an idea of what people are claiming, so I feel like I can kind of work with that one.
Cool. If I was on your evil team with you, and say I told you that I was the Scarlet Woman or the Poisoner, what? How do you think you would play that?
So, like, separately, like if
in general,
like if you were the Scarlet Woman, like if you were.
Mm-hmm.
So, Poisoner, honestly, I said, like I try and talk to a lot of people, so I guess just good roles I would like let you know and just be like, and then like obviously you would know some stuff as well, just whatever roles get you a lot of information.
So you're looking to help your poisoner poison good information gathering roles.
Yeah, and then like for Scarlet Woman, honestly, that just kind of depends on how much like suspicion has been placed on me. Like if people are like so like sure that I'm like fine or I'm good, or like if people think that you're bad, then I'm probably just gonna stay alive or like not kill myself. Respect. But
okay.
If I'm very obviously like I'm in trouble, then I'm gonna die.
How do you feel about the imp being able to execute at night themselves?
I think it's cool. I mean, I don't have that much experience. Like I know that there are a lot of other roles in a lot of other games that are really cool that I want to do, but I think that like kind of curveball is pretty fun.
And you've done that before, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. In a game with people who played for the first time ever, so they had no idea what happened.
So, Samantha, you primarily play with your friends, right? Well, let me ask you this: how did you get started in the Clocktower, Samantha?
So I'm trying to remember. It was probably most just playing, like those little games, like the little like fake pieces we made.
Mm-hmm. Before it was printed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it was actually printed. So playing that like up at the shop in Terrell. And then would watch NRB.
So you like watching it as well?
Yeah, I mean, I really like NRB.
Okay.
They're just entertaining.
They can be very entertaining. You like to watch Mom as well? You have played a few games online with me, correct?
Yeah. I did it pretty consistently for a while, but kind of just stopped at some point.
Well, you're a teenager and life gets busy, so. You're still pretty new at the game. What do you look for when you're playing the game as far as can you see a big difference the more you play in your comfort level of the game?
Honestly, it's not. It doesn't really feel like as much as I play. It's more like as much as everyone else has played. So, like playing with people who like know what they're doing, I'm just kind of like I kind of just want to sit back and like kind of ride it out. But like playing with my friends who played for the first time, I have like a lot more confidence to do crazy stuff.
Do you like doing crazy stuff? Are you a more relaxed player or are you a very analytical player?
Well, I'll say that like any chance that I get to like take a minute and like breathe or like at night and stuff whenever I'm waiting, it's just constantly like in this situation do this, in this situation do this, like maybe this is going on here, and like even more so if I'm good, it's just desperately trying to figure out some way of like uh getting information and stuff.
What are you thinking when you draw your token or right before you draw your token? Are you looking for good, evil?
So I think I'm like as I'm like drawing it, like I'm hoping that I'm good, but as soon as I see a, I'm like, oh, I wanted to be evil. It's just like I want to be good, but then like as soon as I'm good, I'm like, well, dang, that's boring.
Do you like to sow a lot of chaos as evil player?
I want to sow a lot of chaos no matter what.
Okay,
Outsiders are fun in that sense.
they can be. Yeah. Do you anticipate ever claiming Saint as a evil player, trying not to die, being trouble brewing?
I think I have before actually.
I think a lot of people
So
do.
yeah, that was another one that I played with my friends, and I was immediately called out on it as like that's such an easy bluff. I'm like, well, dang.
People read into it sometimes, they do. And then I've seen people get executed as the saint because people just don't believe them. It almost happened to me not too long ago. So I actually personally like outsiders as well. And it just changes the play style of the game, I think. Which I think a lot
Yeah,
that happens a lot with all of the different types of characters, whether you're a townsfolk, an outsider, a minion, or even the demon. Your playstyle changes based on what you are. And being able to relax and just have fun with whatever you're doing is, I think, the strength of this game as a social deduction game, which I know you have experience with social deduction games. What is your experience? Share that with our audience.
uh, when I was younger, uh, I would play One Night Ultimate Werewolf a lot. I I didn't have quite the mindset that I do now for towards those evil players, as those evil roles as werewolf. So if I drew it, like immediately in the like whenever we woke up, it'd be like, okay, round robin. So we go around and wanting to get to be, it'd be like, okay, wolf, and then we'd be like, all right, and then we'd restart.
Samantha was about 5 years old when she's talking about this. My husband and I have been in board gaming for a long time and introduced board gaming to Samantha very young. She's always been a very smart young lady, but did not want to lie, which I appreciate. I know you've played other social deduction games. What are some of your favorite social deduction games?
I think my favorite experience that I've ever had with social deduction is Battlestar Galactica, because we were playing with another just chaos creator as so it was just we had no idea what was happening. It was fun.
I'm with you on that game. That beefy game, but yet still that social side of trying to figure out who's on your team. It's a good game. So Samantha, about how much do you think you've played Clocktower?
Honestly, I don't even know. Uh, I know I played pretty often. Like we used to go to the shop every Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and like we would play a pretty good amount up there. I feel but I feel like consistently, like not at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like I played like an alright amount of times.
Do you
Like
think?
I've definitely
Go ahead.
like I've played it more than most games. That
Do you think that watching it played helps you as a newer player to the game? Do you think it helps you learn the way the game plays?
definitely, because I can like see the strategies that people are trying to do and how well it can work like in conversations and stuff. Like knowing both sides of the roles, like seeing it on like NRB or like seeing it with you.
Cool.
So it's fun.
What are your favorite characters to play? Do you like playing good? Do you like playing evil?
So I definitely enjoy playing good. Uh, I find evil more fun in general, but so I guess it kind of evens out to the outsiders. I don't know. Outsiders are just kind of fun.
Is there anything that you don't like playing?
Soldier.
Okay. Uh, why do you think that is?
Because it doesn't do anything.
It does. They're protected from the demon. That's pretty good. You might have a reason for no death.
Monk is more fun in that sense.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Because what good does the soldier do protecting itself?
So
Like it doesn't do anything anyways.
You like protecting other people? Okay.
Well, I mean, I would want to protect myself if like the soldier was like, you can't die at night. Also, you have this major role, but it's just you can't die at night. So
Yeah.
like, it
Okay.
doesn't really do anything.
So, as someone who likes to share this game with your friends and has showed a lot of people how this game works, what do you think is the appeal of this game to new players?
So, what I find most entertaining about like introducing it to people is the fact that you can't really like explain everything because there's a lot, and the fact that the only experience a lot of these people have with social deduction is like Mafia, which is fun, but it's not Blood on the Clocktower. So I'm just like, oh yeah, it's kind of like Mafia, but like way more complicated. And like they get into it, it's just like there's so much.
Everyone has a unique ability, which I love about the game. Nobody feels like they're just sitting there, oh, I exist. Even with some of the easier roles, I think that, like, say, Chef, you only get one Knights of Information, but it's still powerful information that could really solve a game. So, I'm with you. So, there is several scripts. We've got loads of custom scripts that people have made. But of the base three, which is Trouble Brewing, Sex and Violets, and Bad Moon Rising, how many of those have you played?
I think I've only played Trouble Brewing and Sex and Violets. I know we did a couple custom scripts online, but I don't think I've played Bad Moon Rising.
Okay. So in a game like S&V, it's heavy information, right? There's loads of characters on the script for S&V that have a lot of information, but there's also a lot of misinformation, ways to manipulate information. And there's a new mechanic in S&V called madness. Playing S&V before, what are your thoughts on madness?
I love it. It's really fun.
Because of the chaos?
It's the chaos.
Okay. I think it's an interesting level of playing the game. It adds that complexity to just change it up a little bit. So,
because like you can have, I know that in something like Trouble Brewing, you can have like you have. I'm trying to think. So if you were like so like vehemently claiming a role, they were like, and you're like proven else, like you're proven to not be that role, and it's just like, oh well, I'm lying. If you're like like that, like there's possibilities, just like, oh no, no, I'm definitely that role. Like it's just more confusion.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. So there's also several controversial characters in Blood on the Clocktower. One of them is introduced in Sex and Violets, and it's called the Snake Charmer. How do you feel about the Snake Charmer?
Remind me what the Snake Charmer is.
So the Snake Charmer is the character that can pick every night. If at any time they pick the demon, they become the new evil demon, and the old demon becomes the new good poison Snake Charmer.
Yeah. So that seems fun. Again, more confusion, and that on top of the madness.
Do you think that you would be brave enough to try to maybe become the demon by picking?
Absolutely.
Okay. So another character on the divisive list is the atheist, which is the character that it is a good townsfolk character that is in the game, but it means that the storyteller can break all the rules and there is no evil team. So in order to win as good, you must execute the storyteller. However, if there is an evil team and you execute the storyteller, you will lose. What do you think about the atheist?
I love it. So my favorite type, this seems like a little bit irrelevant, but my favorite type of video game is for indie fourth wall breaking stuff. So something like Doki Doki Literature Club, which it's like AI taking over the game. It's super cool. Or There Is No Game. It's like characters knowing they're in a game, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So having that kind of thing in a board game, I think that's really cool.
Very cool. I love that you have a unique perspective, being that you like playing video games where I don't. Your perspective is very different on the game just because of your life experiences. I think that happens a lot in almost anything we do, but I think that that's one of my favorite things about Clocktower is that everyone can play it differently and everyone has different experiences, but sharing that experience and telling the story together is what makes Clocktower special. So the next character on the divisive list would be the Heretic, which is an outsider that when added to the game can flip it, the win condition. So if you are evil, you are wanting to die, because if good wins, evil wins, and vice versa. If evil wins, good wins. So what do you think about the Heretic?
I think that could definitely add a really cool level. I feel like as evil, if you have a really good feeling that there is a heretic, trying to claim kind of stuff, claiming something just as simple, a super simple role, but that would have to be early game too, so it's not just killing off a random roll. And isn't Sex and Violets the Vortox too?
Yes.
So having to kill every night, that one's killing every night, right?
Every day. Mm-hmm.
Or every day, yeah. So that also kind of works there. So if you have a really good feeling there's a heretic, so as evil, it's just I'm a useless role, you just gotta kill me because we gotta die, we gotta kill someone because there might be Vortox. And then you're wrong and you lose.
Yeah, the trick, what I've seen with Heretic is if you are on the good team, you got to really be careful to not let evil find out too soon that it's a Heretic game. So, there's also another townsfolk character called the Poppy Grower that when it's in play, evil team does not learn their evil team. They don't know, they don't have any information. So minions just go out there with absolutely no information, and the demon will still get their bluffs, but they won't know who's on their team. How do you think that plays out?
I don't know if I'd want to play that one. I mean, I'd be fine with it, but that seemed
really hard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'd be fine as a demon, but going in, I know I get any bluffs as a minion. It's just every conversation, just trying to figure out if they're your minion or not.
Yeah, So I think personally, I think Poppy Grower shines really well with an outed evil. Like if you're an evil player in a Poppy Grower game, playing outed evil can really help with that. And outed evil is just a concept where you are definitely evil and you don't mind being obvious that you are evil. And there's characters that require you to play outed evil if you're going to use their ability. So, like the goblin, if you're the goblin and you are nominated to get executed and claim to be the goblin before the vote goes through, um, and they go ahead and kill you, you will win, as your evil team wins if they execute a claimed goblin. Now you have to claim every single day, every time you're nominated, you have to claim, but which is one of those alternate win conditions, which can be really fun for outed evil players. Yeah. So, would you think that you'd be comfortable playing outed evil?
So is that like the only evil like?
No, there's a psychopath.
How would you win in that sense? Like, how would good win in that sense?
You don't have to kill all of the evil team. You just have to kill the demon. So you would know that that person is a minion. And you don't necessarily need to kill them. You just have to still figure out who the demon is. So it could be detrimental in that if you are obviously a minion, they're not gonna, and they have one kill, they might not go ahead and kill you. They might try to kill your demon. And it's one less player that they have to think about. But, like, there's also the psychopath, which, before nominations open, every day they can publicly claim psychopath and pick a player, and that player will die. Just die. And if you were to put the psychopath on the block to get them executed, in order for them to die, you have to play Rochambeau, which is just rock, paper, scissors. So they can't die unless they lose Rochambeau.
Cool.
Yeah. It's
kind of like it's a Slayer, but just like more OP.
Yep, it's Slayer for evil team. So yeah. So another controversial character is Legion. What do you think about Legion?
Legion is like there's more evil than good, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Sounds overwhelming. I mean, it could be fun, I'm sure. I feel like honestly, any game, like any role, it can be fun, except for Soldier. I don't like Soldier, but yeah, I feel like any kind of game can be fun. Any kind of role can be fun.
It's just the attitude that you have when you play it. Yeah.
And the people you're playing with.
Yep. So we're gonna do experimental character multiple choice, which is a new segment that we started a few weeks back, and I've really enjoyed it. There's no rhyme or reason. I will tell you 3 characters, and you can tell me, just pick one. It could be one that you want to play. It could be anything. So we're going to start with townsfolk. The bounty hunter, which is a good townsfolk that adds an evil townsfolk. So one of the already townsfolk in the game will turn evil, but they learn one evil character every day that character is still alive. So they'll get a name, and as long as that person stays alive, they're not going to get another name. But if they can get that person killed, they'll get another name. The cannibal, which can get the most recent ability of the person executed every day. So if you execute during the day, they will get their ability. Now, if it's an evil player, they will get poisoned information. Or the engineer, which is a townsfolk that can create who they want, minion or demon. So the minion abilities, they would just pick the minion abilities. They don't pick the people, but they just pick the abilities. Or they can change the demon. What do you think you would pick from those 3?
I'm gonna go cannibal, because it's like cooking companions, like the game.
Okay. Cooking companions, you said? Interesting.
Yeah, it's a video game.
Okay. So our next three will be outsiders. There is a character called the Ogre, which on their first night, they just pick a person. And they are that person's alignment. So if they're good, they'll stay good. If they are evil, they will turn evil. But they don't know. You're not told. So you just have to go with whatever that person tells you if you decide to tell that person. There's the politician who, if they are responsible for their team losing, they can win with evil. Or the puzzle master who makes one player drunk, and if they can figure out who that player is and guess to the storyteller before they're executed or killed, they will learn who the demon is.
What'd you say the second one was called?
The politician.
That was cool. I like that. Yeah. Ow.
Okay. Because chaos.
It's chaos.
Okay, so the next section, or the next group, is the minions. So there is a player called the Boom Dandy. If they are executed, basically it kills everyone on the script down to the last three, and you have to pick between the last three as to who is the demon. It's like a bomb exploding and killing half the town, or more than half the town. There is a character called the Marionette, which I believe you are familiar with as being someone who was your marionette before. Basically, it's a townsfolk that is turned minion but doesn't know it. Or the organ grinder. The organ grinder will be obvious that it's in play. You won't know who that is, but they make all of the votes secret. So when town is voting, you won't know who actually has their hand up or not.
The organ grinder, because it's a cool name. Why is it called that?
Okay. The last three will be demons. The Alhadikia, which will pick 3 players, one at a time at night. Each person, one at a time, will choose live or die. And if all 3 choose live, all die. There is Lo Monsta, which means that the demon token can be passed between all of the minions. So if it's a 4 evil player game, they're all minions, and they all have their special abilities, but the Lo Monsta can pass between them. Or the Leech, which they pick a player to be their leech host, and if at any time that player dies, the leech will die, but the leech is invincible otherwise. What would you...
that Alan Macadikia.
Alhadikia? You're making up names now. Okay.
But it's just like it would just instill fear. That's my kind of role.
Okay.
Just fear of God.
It can be. We played a game actually last night where there was an Alhad in the game, and they did not know. We made it down to the final group, and they just did not know who was going to choose live or die, and we ended up losing. Evil won because I think they all chose live, so it was rough. Well, finally, I have one last question for you. On Trouble Brewing, there's several characters. If there was a character that you could be in real life, what character would that be?
So, one of my favorite animes is Black Butler, and there's a character in it who's really cool, and his name is the Undertaker, and I like him, so I guess that one.
Okay, very cool. You get to figure out what people are after they die.
And also, I guess it doesn't kind of helpful.
I think it's one of my favorite roles in the game, especially in TV. So, sounds good. Thank you, Samantha, so much for doing this with me. I really enjoyed getting to interview my daughter, and we look forward to next week's episode of Hard Claim, where you will be back with Sam. See you later.
Yeah, you will.